Most people in America grow up in homes where people don't talk about money. It's a taboo subject. And if your parents did talk about money with you and they talked about retirement, probably some of the principles they gave you don't apply to today and don't equate to good retirement advice. In fact, here, listen to my dad. Let's time travel back to 1985 and hear my dad. 1985.
Son, you're going to go to college, you're going to get a job with a big company like IBM or somebody, you're going to work for 40 years, real hard, make a bunch of money, then they're going to give you a pension, so then you can retire and live modestly for the rest of your life on that company pension from that big company you're going to get a job for. Now, you get to college right after school, get out.
But the problem is, see, I didn't listen to that advice very well. And in 1995, this is what happened. 1995.
What major should I pick? Math? No. Science? No. Let's see. Teaching? No. Entrepreneurship. That sounds fun. I'll do that.
I had a lot of gray in my beard in 1995. That was the year I went to college. And this is my actual class ring I found while I was looking for costumes to wear. So this was really authentic. So the point is, I didn't go that traditional route. I became an entrepreneurship major in college because I've always had an entrepreneurial mind. I mowed grass when I was 10. I cleaned gutters when I was 15. I've always sort of started my own businesses. So that means I wasn't going to work for IBM for 40 years. There was no future version of me where I could see myself sitting at a desk for 40 years, just grinding it out. Okay, so let's get into it. I'm going to give you 5 pieces of bad advice you may have learned by watching or listening to your parents.
Shut up and sit down.
Okay, the first piece of bad advice you might have gotten, we kind of touched on it there at the beginning, is that whole idea of working for a big company for 40 years and then retiring with a pension. If you're younger than me, you probably don't even know what a pension is anymore. It's something our parents got from their work. When they first invented retirement and 401 savings plans, the railroads were actually the ones that came up with sort of company paid benefits after retirement. And it used to be a thing, but it's not a thing anymore. So we've got to learn to be more self-sufficient in our retirement these days. And that comes with getting different streams of income to fund our retirement, not an old job paying us pension money. So that's the first point. You know how much they teach about money in schools today? Yeah, 0. So think about how much your parents were taught about money, like less than 0. And they would tell you just to save your money, have retirement savings. That's what everybody calls it, retirement savings. Back in the 80s, savings accounts were getting 10% interest. So people used to talk about, if I won $1 million in the lottery, I'd just stick it in the bank and get 100 grand a year because that's what a savings account paid then. So they didn't have to really think about investing, picking stocks, buying real estate, 401k plans, ETFs, mutual funds. All that stuff was foreign to them. So you've got to be smarter and figure out where to put your money and don't just save it. You got to have retirement investments now. That's a big difference. Some of the things that we learn from our parents about money is not things that they taught us with their mouths. It's things that we see, how they acted about money, how they treated money. And I know most people's parents worry about money a lot. And the number one thing that retirees worry about is money. Do they have enough money to last through their retirement? So worrying about money all the time while you're working gets even worse when you get into retirement because there's no more income coming in. So did you pick the perfect number? Is the 4% rule going to work for you? Are you going to be on the 6.3% rule they're talking about now? You're going to be on the 2% rule. Did you save 1.4 million to have blah, 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 fill in whatever calculation you want here. But worrying about money is something that most people's parents did. My parents are retired. They live in a big house. They have, I'm sure, plenty of money to last through their retirement. They're both in their 80s and they've got plenty of money and they have pensions and Social Security and all those things, but they still worry about money and they don't spend extravagantly. They never went on big trips. They never really, my dad didn't buy the Ferrari or anything like that. So you've got to set yourself up in a way that you don't have to worry about money. And if you know where you're going with your retirement, it's easier to plan for that and to get that worry out of your life. A number 4 thing that I think we learned from our parents about retirement, if your parents are retired now, what do they do in their retirement? Do they go play golf every day? Do they travel the world? Do they move to a foreign country to use arbitrage? What do your parents do in retirement? I think most people worked so hard, my parents' generation worked so hard to get to retirement that when they got there, It was just kind of to keep your head down, live on that pension, not do anything extravagant, not do anything crazy, and just try to live in your means. And they didn't really plan what their retirement looks like. You know, when I retire, I want to spend at least 2 years traveling the world or move to another country. I already moved to the Virgin Islands and sort of tried my first little round of retirement before I got into what I call recreational employment. At 45, I wasn't quite ready to retire, I decided. I got a little bit bored. So in the FIRE movement, I decided financial independence, recreational employment was a better option for me, because you got to get that financial independence. Then you have the freedom to do whatever you want. But you've got to spend some time figuring out what you want that retirement to look like. And when you know that, then you know how much it costs. And then it makes all those formulas and figuring out how much money you need a lot easier to get rid of that worry. Okay, before I give you number 5, if you got any value out of this so far, if you like this content, give me a big like down there. And it helps the channel, helps more people see the video. You've heard it all before, but don't forget to do it down there. Thank you very much. Okay, number 5 is, when did your parents retire? Did they work too long? Did they work long enough? The old cliche, I gotta put it in here. Nobody on their deathbed says they wish they would have worked longer or harder or not retired sooner. So this all comes back to knowing what that retire number is, knowing what you want your retirement to look like, and figuring out then when is the right time to retire. I think a lot of people work too long because they're scared of whether they have enough, and creating those income streams. Again, I did it through real estate. I bought one house every year, and I reached my financial independence from rents on my rental properties. And it's inflation proof, it goes up with time. So I think that having that income coming in, I know it's going to cover my bills. We may even move somewhere cheaper in a few years, and we'll have even more money to spend. Who knows what the future holds? But I know that I have enough already, and knowing you have enough is really the key to the freedom that you can do whatever you want. You want recreational employment, you want to do nothing, you want to sit on the beach, you want to move to the Virgin Islands. All those things are possible. I hope you got some value out of this video today. Again, hit that like button if you did. And if you like this video, go watch this video over here next. It'll talk more about creating income in your retirement.